Hey everyone, happy Friday and welcome back to the Guidebook Greenroom. Gulnaar, how's it going? Have you had a good week?
Hey Nathan, I've had a great week. I actually just attended Product Camp and down in Atlanta, and I had a really good time learning from and connecting with so many product people. I feel like you have an event coming up that you're attending soon. Is that right?
That's right, I've got two actually. Next week I'm at IBTM in Barcelona, and then the following week it is Campus Live in Birmingham. So all the bees for me.
Yeah. And three really distinct events, right? And distinct purposes of why we're going there and what we're learning from them, I think. So I'm excited for you to go to those and tell us more about it soon. But while I was at Product Camp, of course, we're thinking about being a product-led company. What does that mean? How do we deliver value? How do we help our clients realize value sooner? There was this kind of topic that kept coming up in conversations that I want to dig into today. And that topic is user friendliness. User friendliness and its impact on event success, I think would be interesting to chat about with you. So when we talk to clients, we regularly hear from them that their event apps help them streamline communication and bring their communities together. And then there's this third element that comes up all the time, which is they love when their app looks great and is easy to use. So when it comes to building beautiful apps, I'm thinking about form and function, right? What does easy to use mean? How do you make that happen? So, from your experience as an event organizer, which has been more important to you?
Yeah, I'm going to take two stabs at this as an event organizer, but then a little guidebook twist. But I think form is important. Yeah, I was a previous guidebook customer as an event organizer, and we hosted events in lots of different industries. And having that design led approach where we had the flexibility to really elevate our own brand through icons, through making sure we had the right use of colors, and just kind of put our stamp in the app to make sure that, when attendees downloaded and opened it up, it felt like it was our event. It felt like it was our company. Although it was very much built on Guidebook, it really was important that people felt like they were in the right place. And I think that's what brand does. It kind of reassures you that you are where you're meant to be because it feels familiar. When someone has been on your event website, gone through the registration process, even thought about, the messaging that you've received and the language that's being used, that really is important to be able to have that flexibility to influence that within your guidebook app, within your event app. So yeah, I think for form, definitely super important, but function plays equally as important role in the sense that looking nice is great. And I think that's your first impression, right? You can make a really great first impression, just like you can make a bad one. But then what comes after that is people using it throughout the course of your event. And functionality is so important when you think about how people are using your app. So is it laid out intuitively? Can people find the most important information easily? Um, and you kind of need both of these things to work well together. And that's, as an event planner, as someone at Guidebook, that's what I think we do so well, is that we give that flexibility for people to really have control of form and function. And I think that's super important.
Yeah, that's making me think of UI and UX design concepts. So UI is the user interface, the buttons, which you physically see on screen, and then UX is the user experience, which is more about what you're trying to accomplish with the product. And ideally, like you said, those UI and UX elements come together harmoniously. You want form and function to contribute to the user experience in good balance. So something you mentioned earlier was features, like what you want people to do, what you want them to see, what's important to them, and how you drive traffic to those things. So, how do you organize features in your app in a way that's intuitive, user friendly, and empowering for attendees?
That's a great question. I think it really depends on what's important to your audience. every event has key features, and depending on what yours are, that could be the schedule, it could be having your sponsors highlighted. For some people, if you're in a venue and it's really complicated to navigate, having a interactive map that is easy to find and easy to use is going to increase satisfaction, right? So it's really, how do you value these different components of your event, and then making sure that it's kind of simple things, that the most important information is at the top of your menu. If you've got bits, if you've got something in the schedule that's really important that people find, say you've got a sponsored track, bring that out and pin it to your menu. Make it easier to find. It's all about like testing and being in the app before you launch it and playing around with it, having people in your office play around with it, and just keep asking the question, like, is this intuitive, is this seamless, and can people find the right information? I think lastly, like, linking within your app is really important. So your speakers, your schedule, having your map pinned to all the right places, so that people aren't kind of going into schedule and be like, oh, okay, Nathan speaking, then leaving, going back to the menu, going into speakers, finding Nathan, and then saying, oh, it's in that room, I need to then find them out. So like having everything linked together so it's a seamless process will really allow people to get the best from it. I'm curious to know, from the event you were at, like, did they have a mobile app firstly?
Actually, it was an unconference, so that doesn't, lend itself easily to a mobile app, because at the beginning of the day, people pitched for 30 seconds sessions that they wanted to lead, and then we voted on those sessions and like built the schedule then and there. But we did have resources distributed, or like, having up on the slides, this is what's going to happen when. And I think that really speaks, like, the reason the event went well, not only do attendees need to know where they're going and they want to feel like situations under control and I know what I'm doing next, but that really speaks to like organization on the planner's side, right? Not only do we want to have an easy to use, intuitive feeling for attendees, but we also want event planners to feel organized and like they know where things are, and they like, you can craft that kind of experience with our content management system as well. So
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I think you're right. I think you've kind of summarized that quite well. It's whether you're using an app or not, right? It's about being organized, and it's about making things feel effortless to your attendees when they're on site. And technology can play a role in that where needed, but if not needed as well, it still comes down to kind of the fundamentals of event management, right? And that is just being organized and ensuring people kind of need to know are where they need to be and know how to get there.
right, absolutely. That's kind of like a precursor to making something easy to use for other people, is like, do you have a handle on it, right? Like, are you able to articulate what you're trying to give to them? So I think that's like the big takeaway. Build a beautiful app to maximize impact. User friendliness will drive up adoption and engagement, leading to higher ROI for the event organizer. And put another way, if I'm not like fighting to understand where I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be doing, then that frees me up to just have a great time, right? Connect with people. I'm open to learning. I can make those connections. Yeah, I think having the underlying experience be as smooth and frictionless as possible is really important to delivering value and realizing that value.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I completely agree. And I think just to close off, form and function, I think equally as important as one another, and spend time and give yourself the time to work on both, because equally, they have quite a big impact on attendees. But as always, great to see you, and look forward to catching up next week when I'll be in Barcelona. So keen to chat about that and see how that event's going.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Great talking to you, Nathan. I'll see you next time.
See you later.